So I think I'm going to be starting a new segment here on my channel, and the name that's coming to mind is Pop Warner Princess of Darkness. This is probably going to be where I start to talk about some of the things in sports throughout the week, especially during this football season, as I am. Football is typically my sport that I watch, that I love. Every now and again, you're going to hear me talk about the Dodgers, as I am a Dodger fan. You're going to hear me talk about the Los Angeles Kings. I'm a Kings fan. Every now and again, you probably hear talk about the All Blacks out in New Zealand, and I am a Clipper fan. So mostly you're going to hear me talk about probably the Raiders and then the Dodgers, and then everything else will be sprinkled in depending. I do attend games sometimes throughout the year, so that will probably be something, but we're just going to talk about that weekly roundup of the game, my thoughts, some of the things that I noticed during the game, some of the things that me and my dad noticed the game, and we might have a little segment where he comes in and talks about some of his referee stuff, just about things that he noticed in the game. And I think y'all. Okay, this is something I've kind of wanted to put on my channel, social media, whatever, for a while. Probably going to do like a sports wrap up during the sports that I actually pay attention to. I'm a football girl through and through. I do love or enjoy baseball and hockey as well. Basketball is probably the one I don't pay attention to the most. It's not because I don't think basketball is a worthwhile sport. Congratulations to the Las Vegas Aces. Super excited for them. They just won the WNBA championship. But I am a Raiders fan, I'm a Dodgers fan, I'm a Kings fan, I'm a Clippers fan, and as far as I know, the All Blacks in New Zealand. It's another team. But today, we're going to roast my Raiders! Yay! It's probably going to happen quite often. Now, mind you, I live in a house with a referee, so I grew up literally living with a referee. So some of the stuff you may not agree with, some of the stuff you may not like. Keep your stuff to yourself. There will be no Raiders slander in my comments. And if there is, I will find you. Starts off the game strong. From quarter 1 through quarter 2 all the way to halftime, game is strong. Not only is the defense playing strong and holding them to quite a few 3-and-outs, the offense is moving. Darren Waller's getting touches. I noticed that Foster Moreau was getting touches. Hunter Renfrow, I believe, was being kind of double-teamed. He was being covered. There was not a lot of Hunter Renfrow today, but what was Hunter Renfrow made me very depressed. And that's not necessarily Hunter Renfrow's fault. Again, really happy the first half of the game. Loving all the Darren Waller touches. Josh Jacobs, strong. Devontae Adams, sick to see that touchdown. Super excited. Him and Derek Carr, you can obviously tell they played in college together. There's a chemistry there that is beautiful. There's a chemistry there that works. This team has a chemistry that works. There's just this second half, fourth quarter, sort of like, I don't want to say curse because curse sounds like it's not changeable. There's this fourth quarter letdown that they have. They get to this point where it's full steam ahead, and then all of a sudden there's a halt, screech, and stuff starts falling apart. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is. And it doesn't seem to be changing from coach to coach. That being said, Josh McDaniels has only been our coach for like, I guess, 6 games now. 4 of them they didn't really count. I'm filming this on like an Instagram like filter or whatever, so that's why I keep getting like cut off at some of these points. But there's this fourth quarter curse that the Raiders seem to have, and they have had for a few years. This team has like this amazing potential. There's amazing star power on this team. I feel like there's a good camaraderie between all these dudes, and there just seems to be a disconnect sometimes. It's not like they're not starting playing off strong, it's just not continuing throughout the whole game. Again, I'm not in the NFL. I'm not a football player. These are all just things that I've noticed with my eyes, with my brain, living with a referee, being a Raider fan. I was born a Raider fan, and I will die a Raider fan. So regardless of any of the other things, the fourth quarter, you had a 20-point lead. 20 points. Again, I don't like to trash talk. This game made Kyler Murray look better than Kyler Murray actually is. That's my hot take. You don't have to agree with it. Again, this is personal. I understand Kyler Murray coming out of college, what he did in college. I feel like since he's been in the NFL, I'm not saying Kyler Murray doesn't have insane talent. Like, again, the top 1% of the top 1% make it to the NFL. That's undisputable. But Kyler Murray hasn't exactly been an entire powerhouse this entire time. This game made Kyler Murray look exceptional. And he did not play exceptional today. There was a lot of things that I also feel like luck was not on our side necessarily. And those last 2 fumbles were just, those ones hurt. I can't lie. That's why I am happy with Jonathan Abrams. I feel like Jonathan Abrams is playing a lot stronger, but stronger and smarter. Jonathan Abrams was hurt for so long because Jonathan Abrams likes to light people up. And that was just not physically going to be possible anymore. So I feel like I'm happy that he's playing smarter. We have, our O-line is it needs work. It's historically not the best. They played well, and I'm quite happy with Jonathan Abrams and the way that he's progressed as a player. He used to play very wild and very, out there, very lights out, and it was just not physically possible anymore. There was too many injuries, and I think the more he got injured, the less and less viable he was going to be as a player, and so I'm glad that he's playing a lot smarter. I feel like our secondary has improved drastically from years past, even just 2 years ago. I think the O-line and the D-line are playing as well as can be expected. There was a point today when Kyler Murray, they were going for 2 points, and he just had way too much time. I am sorry, but that was just way too much time. There was too much going on, and I understand the coverage that was trying to be played and executed there, but too much time. He ran it in himself. And again, we made Kyler Murray look better than, in my opinion, Kyler Murray actually is. As much as I do think that for this game in particular that the refereeing was quite fair, which isn't something that happens very often with the Raiders, and I can say that living in a house with the referee because he notices the unfair treatment that they get. It's always the NFL out to get the Raiders. That's not a topic up for discussion. That's the truth. There were some calls that were... There was a touchdown or a catch in question that I don't believe truly was a catch, and I think there was enough evidence to overturn that. And the fact that they didn't was, I think, again, this is my personal opinion, but if you cannot prove that something was what it was beyond a shadow of a doubt, then don't say it. Oh, there's not enough evidence to prove that it was or wasn't a catch, so then it's nothing. Do it over again. I know that this is situational. This is happening to my team. And if it was happening to the other team against mine, I probably would have different feelings. Again, personal bias. But I do think Cleat and his crew were pretty fair on that one. Or were pretty fair for a majority of the game, which is, again, as a Raider fan, really nice to see and really nice to feel because that is not a normalcy for us. It is always the NFL versus the Raiders. Again, all in all, it's week 2. This is a 16-week season. There's time and area for improvement. I believe that that's going to continue happening throughout the season. I think Derek Carr needs to be more confident. I think he continuously gets more and more confident as the years go by. But I want him to not put himself in so many pressure positions that lead to picks, that lead to fumbles, that lead to things like that. He has talent around him. You like Devontae Adams, like Darren Waller, like Josh Jacobs, like Foster Moreau, like Hunter Renfrow. Those are weapons. They're weapons. And I'm not saying that they're not trying to utilize them because I do believe that they are, but they are powerhouses. Derek Carr has powerhouses to throw to, and he just needs the confidence to do it. He needs the protection to do it as well. So it's a whole thing. I'm very proud of how our defense has progressed over the last few years because a few years ago, it was just not it, Chief. And I'm not saying that they didn't struggle in that fourth quarter, but they're playing historically so much better than they ever have in the past. So I'm grateful for that. Again, it's week 2. We're on to week 3 next week. Hopefully things go better. We are playing in a very, very tough division. You know, we have to play Patrick Mahomes. One team that I can say that might be a little more, not again, any team is chewable and swallowable. I just think that the Broncos are a little more within our realm of like, okay, you know, the Chiefs really aren't struggling, and the Chargers, I won't say they're not struggling, but they've got this young quarterback, they've got this new team. This is a tough division. It is a very, very tough division, and it has been for a few years for us. But it is not something that I believe is not doable. There have been times where literally I felt like we were winning the Super Bowl, just knocking the Chiefs out of anything. In times where like literally we were 0-for, where we had a terrible record. Nothing is impossible. I'm excited for this season. You know, black and silver, Raider Nation till I die. I might be disappointed sometimes, but it doesn't mean I don't love them, doesn't mean I don't care.